Patrice Jackson.
As for the pot pie recipe, so I'm gonna go ahead and make that right now. So
Patrice,
this one is for you. So the first step is just to get your potatoes, and I thought I had more than this. This is all I have on hand right now, so probably gonna have to go buy some more, but I'll still show you guys the first step. So you're just gonna pierce these and put them in the microwave just to get them soft. Cooking is all about improvising, so since I don't have enough normal potatoes to put in there, I'm just gonna throw some of these in too, just so I don't have to make a special trip to the grocery store just to buy some potatoes. I mean, I have potatoes in different forms. I just don't have any more like russet potatoes or any like raw potatoes. But I do have hash browns and I have fries, so I chose the hash browns over the fries, and we just gonna keep it pushing as if we have the right thing. Next step is going to be your carrots. Normally I just buy the frozen carrots and peas in the bag, but I only have frozen peas, so I'm just going to go ahead and use fresh carrots. That way I can use these up and they don't go bad. So yep, once again, you just got to improvise and use what you got, unless you want to run to the store every 5 minutes. First step is going to be to peel them. Okay, so all the carrots are peeled. I'm just gonna chop off the tops and bottoms of each one. And then chop them into whatever size pieces you want. Once I get to the like fatter part of the carrot, I'm gonna cut it in half and maybe even in quarters. And just keep doing the same thing so I can get small pieces. And the time it took me to chop the carrot, my potatoes got done. So now I'm just going to peel these. All right, y'all, so potatoes are done, and if I need more, I got my hash browns ready to go. So now it's time to make the gravy. So first step is to add some butter, and we're gonna use this to make a roux with some flour. I would say I added probably about a 1/4 cup of butter or margarine. However much butter you add, you pretty much add the same amount of margarine. You pretty much add the same amount of flour to make your roux.
I'm cooking too.
You cooking? Good job. Go cook something good. Show Cody what you cook.
Cody, you cook.
Okay, so we got our butter melted. The next step is to add in about the same amount of flour. And then you want to combine the two together and cook your roux for about a couple minutes. You want it to stay light. You don't want it to get dark because you're not making gumbo. You want your gravy to be like a light color. So you don't want to cook the roux so that it becomes dark. If it's too thick, you can add more butter or a little bit of oil. Alright, I don't want to keep adding oil, so now I'm going to start to build my gravy by adding in some almond milk. And I'm going to use unsweetened.
So at this point you're adding your milk in pretty slowly because you don't want it to create too many lumps. So add a little bit, whisk, and then add some more until you get it to the thickness that you want. Keeping in mind that the potatoes are going to thicken it even more, so you can make it a little bit thinner than you want it to be in the end. But again, the thickness or thinness of your gravy is up to you.
So now that you have the base of your gravy and it's like creamy, now you can start to add in some broth to thin it out a little bit more and give it some flavor. So I'm going to use one of these vegetable bouillon cubes. Rather than making broth with it ahead of time, I'm just going to go ahead and add one and then add some water. So I added about 3/4 of a cup to a cup of water, but how thick or thin you want your gravy is up to you. I'm going to keep some water on the side in case I need to thin it out some more, because it will thicken as it comes back up to a boil. And in the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and start seasoning the gravy. Of course, the vegetable bouillon did add some flavor, but we're going to season it even more. So I'm going to add some garlic powder, some onion powder, some thyme, some complete seasoning. Give it a stir before it burns to the bottom of the pan. Going in with some garlic and herb seasoning. And I'm out of black pepper, but I would add that too if I had some. So at this point, you want to go ahead and taste your gravy and make sure it doesn't need any additional seasoning. And if it doesn't, then you can add in your veggies. So mine is perfectly seasoned, but it's a little bit thick, so I'm going to thin it out a little bit more with some water. And then I have to taste it again just because I watered the gravy down now. I'm going to have to readjust the seasonings because obviously I added water. I'm just going to go ahead and add all of it because I know it's going to thicken up even more when I add in the potatoes. And this way I only have to season it one more time. If the actual seasonings taste good, but it just lacks salt, then you can just add in some salt. Salt is always an option if you need it. I'm going to give it one final taste, and then I'm going to throw my veggies in. Okay, I'm going to switch to a spatula now because you can't whisk the veggies. And I actually went ahead and shut off my the stove because I don't want these are going to cook in the oven, so they really don't have to cook on the stove too. I go ahead and preheat the oven and throw my peas in.
It got way too loud in there, so I had to take over with voiceover. But all you want to do to make your crust is either you can buy a prepared crust from the store if that's what you want to do, or if you want to make it at home like I'm doing, just take about a half cup of vegan butter or margarine and mix that with about 1 cup of regular flour. And you just want to cut the two of them together, which means that you're going to just kind of press them together until you get a fine crumb. And then add some salt and baking powder and some ice cold water. Just kind of drizzle that in until this powdery mixture forms a dough. And then you can roll that out and put it on top of your pot pie. And this is like a really simple and easy way to make a really nice flaky crust. If you want even more flaky layers, all you have to do is fold it on itself a few times and that'll give it layers. And other than that, just roll it out and put it right on top of your pot pie. Brush it with some butter and bake it on 350 for about 30 to 45 minutes.
So here's our pot pie. You can cut some holes into the crust if you want to give it some like to aerate it, and you can definitely brush it with some melted butter if you want to, or just spread some butter on top. And that is literally it. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop this into the oven and I'll show you guys what it looks like when it comes out.
So I ended up going to the grocery store and had to rely on someone else to take it out of the oven. And they dug into it before I even got a chance to get home and take a picture of it. But this is what it looks like done. You can see that it looks like they enjoyed it. Looks like a perfectly done pot pie. It doesn't look weird or different than anything else. This is exactly the same process that I would do when I would make chicken pot pies. So it really tastes exactly the same minus the chicken. If you wanted to, you could do some vegan chicken, but you really don't have to do that. It tastes good just with the vegetables, and that's it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you do give it a try. And if you do, don't forget to leave me a comment below and let me know how you liked it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to be notified, then ring the bell. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.